She thought he'd forgive her affair. Instead, he left her with nothing. She thought I'd do what I always did, forgive, forget, and rebuild. But this time, I didn't say a word. I just made sure when I left, I took everything with me, except her. Hey everyone, we're just beginning this journey, so please consider helping us reach our first 1,000 subscribers. Thank you. Now, let's get back to the story. To the outside world, we were the couple everyone envied. Emma and I had been married for 11 years. We lived in a restored colonial house just outside of Denver. She was gorgeous, charming, and quick-witted. I was successful, steady, and the quiet type who never made a scene. We had a couple of friends, hosted barbecues, and went on vacations to wine country. From the outside, we were the perfect picture. But inside the walls of that beautiful home, we were two strangers who shared a bed and nothing else. The truth was, Emma had cheated on me before. Twice, that I knew of. The first time was 3 years into the marriage. A co-worker. She cried. Swore it meant nothing. I forgave her. The second was subtler. An emotional affair, texting and secret meetups. Again, she begged. Again, I stayed. I told myself I stayed for the right reasons. For our home. For stability. For the future. But the truth was, I stayed because I didn't believe I deserved better. That changed the day I met Claire. Claire worked in the finance department of my company. Bright, competent, and quiet. Not flirtatious, not flashy, just kind. The kind of kind that doesn't need to be loud. The kind that sees through you when you don't say a word. We never crossed any lines, never even flirted. But one afternoon, during a staff retreat, we sat next to each other during a break. She asked if I was okay. I said I was just tired. She looked at me for a second and said, "You've been tired for a long time, haven't you?" That sentence haunted me for days, because it was true. A month later, the cracks in Emma's facade started to widen again. Late nights, new clothes, sudden, unexplained gym memberships, and girls' weekends with people I didn't recognize. She'd grown careless, or maybe she thought I'd grown too numb to notice. One Friday night she came home past 2 a.m. with smudged eyeliner and a perfume I didn't recognize. I was sitting in the dark kitchen drinking tea. She froze when she saw me. "Didn't think you'd still be up," she mumbled. I nodded. "Didn't think you'd still be out." She shrugged, offered a tired smile, kissed my forehead, and headed upstairs. Something clicked in me that night. Not rage. Not sorrow. Just clarity. I wasn't tired anymore. I was awake. The next morning, I called an old friend, Jacob, who now ran a private investigation firm out of Boulder. "I need quiet surveillance. Nothing flashy. Just answers," I said. He paused, then asked, "It's Emma again, isn't it?" I didn't reply. I didn't need to. Within a week, I had what I needed. Photos, videos, restaurant receipts, hotel check-ins. She wasn't seeing one man. She was seeing 3. One from her gym, one from her book club, and one who looked young enough to be a student. It was shameless, brazen. She'd laugh in group chats about me being too focused on work to notice. One message read, "He's so dull I could cheat on him in the driveway, and he'd still ask if I want tea." I printed that one and framed it, put it on my desk. Every time I looked at it, I reminded myself, this is the last time I'll be made a fool. But this time, I wasn't going to confront her. I wasn't going to fight. This time, I was going to disappear and take her world with me. It started with small things. A shift here, a document there. Quiet, invisible movements that would mean nothing unless you were paying very close attention, and Emma never was. I opened a new bank account under my name only. I moved my direct deposits there. I stopped contributing to our joint account, let her spend from it freely while I built my war chest elsewhere. Next came the paperwork. I met with a divorce attorney, a sharp, methodical woman named Vanessa Lee. She didn't blink when I laid everything out, just nodded and said, "We'll make this clean. You'll come out ahead." She explained how to document everything, what to freeze, what to claim, what to quietly transfer or close before serving papers. I followed every instruction to the letter. Over the next month, I made copies of every relevant document: bank statements, home titles, Emma's messages, her spending history, and Jacob's investigation files. I kept them all in a password-protected drive and on a small USB I carried in my wallet. Emma, meanwhile, was oblivious. She was in love with her own distractions, spa days, girls' brunches, and phone calls she took in the other room. She thought I was still the man too afraid to rock the boat, but I wasn't that man anymore. I even got pre-approved for a new condo. Modern, quiet, across town. I visited it twice, imagining my new life in those silent hallways. I stopped leaving anything of value in our house. The garage slowly emptied of my tools. My home office became a skeleton, files scanned and gone, drawers emptied, hardware wiped. And then I waited for the right moment, the one she'd never see coming. It happened on a Wednesday. Emma had just come back from a spa retreat in Aspen. She walked into the kitchen wearing designer sunglasses and humming a song I didn't recognize. I was sipping coffee and reading the news. Just another morning, as far as she could tell. Then the doorbell rang. She opened it, expecting a package. Instead, it was a courier, and in his hand, the neatly bound envelope that would shatter the last illusion she lived in. She stared at it, confused. Then turned to me. "What is this?" I looked up, took one last sip of coffee, and said, "You've been served." Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. I don't understand. What is this? Some kind of joke?" I stood, adjusted my watch. No joke, just a very real end to a very fake marriage. She followed me as I walked past her. "Wait, hold on. What are you talking about? We're fine. Aren't we fine?" I paused by the door. "Emma, I know about all of it. The gym guy, the book club fling, even the college kid, every hotel, every receipt, every chat message. I know everything." She went pale. "You were spying on me?" "No," I said. "I was protecting myself." She started to speak, maybe to cry, maybe to lie, but I was already in the driveway. Over the next few weeks, everything unraveled. Vanessa, my attorney, was relentless. The documentation left no room for her to play the victim. Her adultery, combined with financial misuse of our joint accounts, gave me the upper hand. I kept the house. She moved into a cramped rental in a not-so-nice part of town. I retained my savings. She walked away with barely enough to cover a deposit. And the best part? She didn't even see it coming. Emma wasn't the only one who needed to learn what consequences felt like. There was one lover in particular, the one from her gym, who really got under my skin. His name was Tyler. Mid-30s, smug, cocky, and married with 2 kids. A family man, supposedly. I knew this because Jacob dug deep, found his wife's Facebook. Photos of their kids at soccer games, Disney trips, and sweet anniversary posts. I made a copy of every screenshot, the ones with Emma pressed against Tyler outside the hotel, the texts where he called her his Wednesday escape, and the voice note where he said, "He probably thinks you're just out jogging. What a joke." I packaged it neatly, labeled it plainly, "For your attention, confidential," and I mailed it, not to his house but to his company's HR department. Enclosed with a polite, anonymous note, "Your senior trainer, Tyler W., has been engaging in inappropriate conduct with a client during work hours and on gym premises. Attached are verified materials. This has been forwarded to preserve the professional integrity of your establishment." I don't know exactly what happened. I never followed up. But 3 weeks later, Tyler's gym profile disappeared from the website. His Instagram went private. Emma's contact list shrank by one name. Sometimes the best revenge doesn't require shouting. It just takes silence, precision, and patience. After the dust settled, after Emma was out of my life and the lawyers had shaken hands, I didn't feel triumphant. I felt light, emptied of anger, free from the weight I didn't even realize I was carrying all those years. I moved into the new condo, modern, clean, and mine. I slept better, ate better, even started running again. Small things, signs of a life reclaiming itself. Claire hadn't reached out and I hadn't expected her to. But one Friday evening, I ran into her at a bookstore downtown, the same place I used to go to escape. She was holding a worn paperback, looking at it the way some people look at old friends. "Claire?" I said. She looked up. Her face lit up, but subtly, the way only someone who really means it can manage. We talked for 20 minutes in the history aisle, caught up. She'd heard about the divorce through the office grapevine but never asked for details. Instead, she just asked how I was. I told her the truth. "I'm finally breathing again," she smiled. "You always looked like you were holding your breath." We agreed to grab coffee sometime, and we did, then lunch, then a weekend hike. Nothing dramatic, nothing rushed, just two people learning each other's rhythms. Claire never pried, never pushed. She didn't treat me like a broken thing, just a man who had learned how to be still and was finally learning how to move again. And me? For the first time in a long time, I didn't feel like a survivor. I felt like a man starting over, with someone who didn't need saving, just someone willing to walk beside me. It had been 4 months since I last saw Emma. 4 months of peace, of Claire's gentle steadiness becoming a rhythm I trusted. We weren't rushing anything, but it felt natural, like something real was growing between us. One Sunday afternoon, Claire and I were walking through a local outdoor market. She was holding a small bouquet of lavender in one hand and my arm in the other. We were laughing about something small, I don't even remember what, when I felt her hand tighten slightly. I followed her gaze. Emma. She was across the street, holding a paper coffee cup, standing frozen like a deer in headlights. Her eyes locked on mine. Then they drifted to Claire, and the look on her face, shock, disbelief, maybe a trace of shame, was the loudest apology she'd never give. Claire didn't say anything. Neither did I. Emma turned, walked quickly in the opposite direction, almost ran. I exhaled, slow, clean, final. Claire looked at me, her voice soft but solid. "Are you okay?" I nodded. "Yeah, I'm more than okay." We kept walking, and I didn't look back. Some nights I sit on my balcony, watching the city lights flicker below like distant memories. Claire will be inside, reading or making tea, the scent of chamomile drifting out toward me. And in those quiet moments, I ask myself one question, not often, but just enough to feel honest. Do I miss Emma? The answer always comes slowly, but it's always the same. No, I don't miss her. What haunts me isn't her absence. It's my own silence, the silence I kept for years while I swallowed disrespect, while I tried to hold together something that had already rotted through. I don't miss her. I just haven't fully forgiven myself for staying as long as I did, for thinking I was being noble when I was really just afraid, for letting myself become invisible in a home I built, for ignoring the voice inside me that kept saying, "This is not love." But even that is healing now, because Claire doesn't try to fix that silence. She just sits in it with me. And maybe that's the most honest love I've ever known.